Hey, all you fireworks people, welcome back to our series on how to run a retail store. So, again, I'm back with the one and only Ben Muzzy, and we're going to talk about transportation today.
Well, thank you, the one and only Kenry Easton.
There's probably more than one of me, according to Facebook.
Really?
There are.
Not on there, so I don't know.
Yeah, well, gotta be on there now.
Fair enough.
Anyways, today we're going to talk about how we got this firework from China to our store to sell. So, this firework starts out in Luoyang, China, where it's created in a factory. It's then taken to Changsha and brought up the river to Shanghai, where it then gets on a massive boat inside of a container, and then it gets shipped to LA. So, that's a lot of the part that people know for sure. It gets dropped off in LA. At that point, we put it on the railroad and rail it to Kansas City. From there, our lovely truck drivers drive to Kansas City, pick up that container, and drive it to our Boonville warehouse, where it is then sorted and organized for you to purchase. And you can put it in your cart, purchase it, and then ship it when you're ready to take that order on. And then we put it on our trucks and ship it directly to your store. So
It's just that easy. No
it's
problem.
that easy. Like 2-3 steps max, maybe.
That's it.
Yeah.
That is it.
There's more that goes into that, but that's the short version of how we get this firework here to you. So, Ben, let's talk more about transportation and what it actually means to ship fireworks. So, as we know, fireworks are hazardous materials or hazmat. So, what is the actual definition of that for anyone that might not know?
The actual definition of hazardous material, well, in the context of fireworks, it's something that's going to be considered an explosive. So there's certain requirements for that product, how it's going to be boxed. So the DOT certified cases, and depending upon the amount of grams are in there, there might be overlays that the ocean freight companies want you to have, such as straps on products or board on the top of them. So a couple different ways, but hazardous material basically means that it has to be handled in a specific fashion and cannot be mixed with other certain commodities when it comes to shipping them together.
And a lot of those are for safety reasons, right?
Yes, yeah, everything gets put into a category, and certain categories just don't play well with others. So it's usually not a big deal for us, but something to be aware of when it comes to looking at tight transit times.
So with fireworks being hazmat, is it possible to ship a firework air?
So there's two answers to this question. One, for fireworks retailers, no. That product is not going to be shipped air. It's all going to be shipped via LTL freight. It's all going to go on the ground in a truck. For certain products, for some of our pro users, that stuff can be shipped air, but it's a very specific type of product, and it's not something that you're going to sell at your retail store.
Makes sense. It's all classified differently because of how the firework is made.
Correct. Yep.
Awesome. And you had mentioned LTL. For anyone that doesn't know what that means,
Less than truckload. So all of those wonderful 18-wheelers you see driving through down the interstates, through your town, all of that's moving goods. And if you see a 1.4G orange placard on the outside, that means it's containing fireworks. The 1.4G is synonymous with consumer fireworks. So everything that goes, for the most part, is less than truckload, and the alternative is a full truckload. And again, it'll still have that same 1.4G orange placard, and what that means is that truck is dedicated, when it's a full truckload, to just that shipment. When normally that's going to be somebody looking to maximize their shipping dollar, whether we're shipping to a faraway place or somebody close. A full truck is always the lowest cost way to get product shipped to you.
awesome. If I'm a retailer, I know that there's a couple different ways that I can purchase products. I know I can go to our website and shop fireworks that way.
The best way.
And then you guys take it out of your warehouse and ship it directly to me, and it's awesome. But then there's also something that I've noticed called dropship or container.
Yes.
So if I get product that way, how do the two differ?
So, as you mentioned at the beginning, the progression from China factory on a steamship line to rail to KC to our warehouse, what happens with a dropship container is that container does not go to our warehouse. That container is going to go to your location full. And when you're receiving a container, it is going to be a different situation than receiving an LTL shipment or a full truckload. But it is, if you're looking to save money, the lowest cost way to buy your fireworks, and it's also going to be some of the fireworks in the best condition. We work hard to make sure that things that are handled at our warehouse and loaded onto LTL trucks or full truckloads are in good shape. But every time you touch a firework, that's where you come up with a potential issue. Every time you move it, when it goes onto a container, it goes right from China to your location, and you'll be the first one in the U.S. to unbox it, which means you're going to have the cases are going to be in the best shape possible.
Awesome. One big thing that I always see whenever a container comes over versus we ship full truckloads or less than truckloads, is when they come on a full container, there's no pallets.
Right.
Or the other way, there are pallets.
Yeah, and we've got videos of what a container unload looks like. So if you're thinking about this, I encourage you to do that. But that's the way it looks. When it comes to you on a container, you want to have a few things ready to go, but it's not going to be like unloading with your friendly LTL driver there. As Kendra said, no pallets, which the terminology for that is floor stacked, and that's to maximize the interior space. You don't want to pay for shipping air, which is ultimately what that pallet will do. The trade-off, of course, is going to be a little bit more labor when it comes to unloading it and moving that product, because you can't use a forklift or a pallet jack because nothing is on pallets yet. So when you get that container, you have to clip off the little ring that's there, locking it up. Then you're going to open it up, you're going to find it blocked and braced. You'll have to take that wood off, and then are your fireworks. From front to back, floor to ceiling, side to side, just full of cases of fireworks. So a step ladder on hand and multiple bodies, gravity rollers if you have them, is going to be the way to go. But I would encourage you to take a look at that video so you can see what it looks like. And we always provide our customers that are ordering dropship containers with tips and tricks and recommendations for making a successful unload.
Awesome. Shifting gears a little bit, let's talk about what's the best way to store your product once you have it on hand.
Sure. So assuming that you're not taking it right to the retail setting, you know, this is going to go into a cold storage situation in preparation for upcoming season, or even if you're breaking your location down after season. The best container to store your fireworks in is going to be the original case they came in. Those things are over-engineered to such a degree that they really will keep your product in good shape so that it makes it through to the next season in as good a condition as it was when you boxed it up. And then the environment. It can really go in a lot of different spaces. You know, be smart about it. It's all a matter of being safe. We are dealing with fireworks. We have, you know, possibility for certain things to happen. We want to avoid that. So keeping it in a space that is going to be out of a situation where there might be something to ignite a firework. You know, no open flames, not right next to a heat source or anything of that nature. Inside the original package is great. And then you're going to want to keep it, you know, away from direct contact with moisture. It can be in a unair conditioned, you know, just a barn structure or a container, and the elements really won't have an issue with it. When I say elements, I mean the external temperature. So if it gets down to negative 35, or if it gets up to 110, that really doesn't have an impact on the fireworks, but direct contact with moisture and storing them in the original case are going to be things that you're going to avoiding direct contact with moisture and storing them in the original case will be the best way to keep that product in good shape. Yeah. Shelves are helpful. Anything you can do to help yourself out. Because think about it, when you're storing it, you're going to have to go back in there and take that product out. So being sensible and logical with categories stored by category, like products stored by like products, it makes it easier when you're going in there to get that product out for the next season or to restock the retail shelves.
Yeah, that's exactly what we do at our seasonal tent here. We have containers that we store the product in its original case. So then that way, if there were to be a leak or anything to happen, that case does help kind of save the product a little bit. Right. For anyone that's never opened a fireworks case, so you have the firework that you're typically used to seeing, super colorful, pretty packaging, awesome design, and then you have a boring brown box. But like Ben said, this thing is over-engineered to actually keep your product dry and safe. So it's always taped with very strong tape. And then once it's opened up, the product is in there nice. But then if you look at the actual cardboard itself, it's thick. And so you could leave this in a puddle and come back to it, and potentially your fireworks, the water hasn't reached them at all, which is wild to me.
Right.
I've seen some cases before when it's rained and we may have missed a case or whatever it might be, and we'll pull the firework out and the water hadn't even reached the inside of that cardboard yet. So the original cases are awesome.
They really are.
I know they're not the prettiest, but they do contain a lot of information and they'll save your product. And they're already labeled too. So it makes it very quick and easy to find your products.
Very helpful.
Awesome. So talking about the labeling, let's talk a little bit about the compliance and how products need to be labeled.
Sure.
How to kind of watch out for any maybe mislabeled products or what to look for on your box to make sure it's real. So starting out with the product itself, I have Time Machine by Taco, and we always have the warning message on there.
Right. All products.
All products. So we have a warning message up top. There's also a written warning message. A big thing here is it has the UN number and the 1.4 G, so we know what type of product it is.
What it is.
So, what else would, say, a fire marshal look for on a product to make sure that it's good and legal for you to sell?
Yeah, typically you hit it. They're going to have certain criteria. They're going to be looking for specific things. Fire marshals are wonderful people, typically, but they only know topical about fireworks. So the 1.4G is what they're most commonly looking for. Sometimes they'll also look for a warning label to be on there. If you were in something as silly as the great state of California, there's actually a state necessary stamp for products to be sold there. But generally speaking, if you buy something from us, don't worry about it. It's going to have all the necessary written requirements that are on there. The packaging is going to meet the CPSC approval. So we've got you covered on that front, so you don't need to be concerned.
Yeah. And then let's talk about the case itself, too.
Yep.
Because this case gets shipped in a truck, and there's other things on here that we have to kind of look forward to or look at. So we have the, on all of our cases that are Taco or Sky Bacon, 76 Show Series or 76 Pro line, all of those, we have our logo, the SKU, the name of the product, and how it's packed, and then made in China. Or if it's made in Italy, say made in Italy. We also always have a UPC or barcode on there, so it's easy to try to track and keep that inventory of the product. But then there's some other stuff on this box too. So let's talk about that. For example, this EX number. What is an EX number, and why does it have to be on this box?
Yeah, EX number, so every single product that comes in the U.S. that's a firework has an EX number or an NFC number. They basically serve the same purpose. It's a database. It lets you know that this product is associated with the contents of the case. Every once in a while, this EX number might be associated with multiple different names. But at the end of the day, that is what identifies the product on the inside. So the EX number is supposed to match the contents.
Awesome. And then on here I see a sticker that says AFSL. What is the AFSL?
That is the American Fireworks Safety Laboratory. They are a fantastic company, and what they are is a third-party testing company for us. They'll actually check the product in China, and that is basically to ensure that it matches and will meet what its CPSC requirements are. So we will actually check the product in China at a cost before we put it on a container to ship it over here. If the AFSL were ever to tell us that this product is of issue, we wouldn't ship it because we know that would also be a very likely issue with the CPSC.
Awesome. Good to know. We all learned a lot today, I hope.
I hope so.
Is there anything else that we need to talk about with packaging and labeling that you can think of on the compliance side?
No. If you're buying from a reputable company, Spirit of 76, you really don't need to be concerned about it. Your packaging will meet the criteria. We work with trusted suppliers in China. We have a third-party testing company that we pay money to make sure that we're above and beyond the CPSC requirements. So you should be in the clear getting your stuff from us.
Perfect. So it's just one of those worry-free things that you can just kind of check off, say I'm good with Spirit.
Right. We'll take care of it for you. Just enjoy selling the product.
Okay, so we've talked about a lot today. We've talked about how we get the product up from China, the difference between ordering a container, ordering from a warehouse, all of the different acronyms for shipping a product over to you. Now, my main question is when should I ship the product to me?
Yeah, good question. So that varies depending upon what your storage situation is. Some of our customers have all the storage they need and then some. That's not the case for very many though. So if you have the capacity to take it, or if the cost savings are there, take it early. The only better place than our warehouse for fireworks is your warehouse. So I would encourage folks to take delivery as soon as you can. Talk with your salesperson. We will typically incentivize with shipping discounts and in other ways for early deliveries, early shipments. And when we say early, we mean April. That would be helpful because May and June we're going to be busy. It's just the nature of the beast. If you have the capacity to take it early, absolutely do, and that'll just avoid any of those things that could happen when it's not there in your warehouse ready to go.
Yeah, and when you take that product early too, you're able to then organize it in your own space.
Absolutely.
So you're able to see what your product looks like. Maybe you ordered a brand new SKU and you don't know how big it actually is.
Right.
You can really test it out and see, okay, what product should I put this next to so it sells better? Going back to the whole merchandising thing.
Sure.
Or you can organize your container so you know where your product is once your staff gets there and you're not fumbling around trying to find it.
Yeah, you could do a staff demo, invite some customers out, take a look at the product that you've got so you know what it is that you're going to be selling.
That is a great idea. We actually did that for the tent season this past year. We invited all of our tent staff out and we demoed the product that we were selling. And it really helped the staff to know what they were selling, but also just got them excited because they got to see fireworks early in the season and they didn't have to wait until the 4th.
Right, yeah, that brown box is not attractive. You take it out and you've got that good looking piece. That's fun, but watching it go up is the best part.
It is.
Yeah, great way. And then once you're done, you don't have to shoot all your product, but the QR codes. You know, that's another great way for folks, let's have products on hand, watch the video, and they know what the performance is going to be.
Awesome. I feel like we covered more than enough today about trucking and shipping and transportation and storage. But if you guys have questions, reach out to your sales rep and they can definitely help you out, or leave a comment on this video, and maybe we'll make another video if we have enough Q&As.
Absolutely. And always ask about those discounts. See what we have going on. Normally they're very at the forefront of the website. Your salesperson will let you know. You'll have gotten multiple emails, but just so that there's never a knowledge gap there, always check. We want to let you know.
Definitely. So key things here: ship your fireworks safely and get those discounts by shipping them early.
That's it. That's it. And good luck selling.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much for watching, and you'll find us here again for the next video.
Bye.